Hi there, I'm David Dowling and I run IsItModern, a videography company, if you will, that specializes in filming dance. And I just wanted to take this time to talk a little bit about how I film dance. Now, before we get started, I want to really stress that I'm talking about rehearsal footage and close-ups for promotional purposes. That's kind of my specialty. So for this shot, we have a revision dance company rehearsal, and you'll notice we have Biz and Olivia in the background, and we have Brenna in the foreground, and we've got Jillian and Malone right in the middle, and they're the center of attention. The focus is on them. And I really set this shot up to have, I noticed Brenna, the way she was standing with her elbow out, and I thought it made a really nice window. And as Jillian and Malone turn around, you can see their faces. You're going to see it right here. There you go. You can see the expressions caught right in the middle of that window. So it's not necessary to see everything, to even see them as they go to the ground. It's just very telling of the body language of the dancers around them. Now, sometimes we just have a situation where, for instance, I haven't seen all this movement before, so I'm kind of trying to predict, and we'll talk a little bit about that more later. But here we can kind of see the dancers go out of focus, and I think that's okay because it kind of shows that they're moving on. These are all shot in bursts, like they're set up not to capture the entire thing, but to capture them at specific points. And this will replay again, and I'll show you what I mean, that we start in focus and they go out of the frame and they come back into the frame. And then they're going to go out again and they're going to come back in again. And I think it's one of the greatest things when a dancer leaves the frame of the video camera and they come back in. I think that's a really powerful thing. Now this is a shot with Allison and Bettina, and they are stagnant. They're standing, and I know for a fact that they're not going to move, so it's easy to focus on them. And I really like where Allison makes a fist there. If I had another opportunity, I would have another angle where the focus would be on the fist and kind of beyond it, more like in front of her, into her face. But I only had one try at this because I was setting up in different ways and sometimes taking pictures. But it's just really, and these are going to be a few more shots like that. But it's just really interesting to me the way that we can see facial expressions in dance. And I think that's such a really important part of capturing dance. And now we're going to move on to a recent show by Maida Withers at Dance Place for some other examples, most notably the walking into the shot and taking a risk while you're filming. Now, I came into this show completely blind. I had no idea what Maida was going to do, where she was going to go at any given time, and she's all over the place all the time. So very animated. So this is autofocus now because there's no way for me to manually focus this show. But here we have an example of the camera being locked down, which is something that I always try to do as much as possible, especially for promotional videos, because it lets you focus on the movement instead of being distracted by the camera. And so here I've selected my shot, and I'm going to stick with it to the end and see where she goes with it. Now, it's completely possible that she could end the scene and walk off stage left or something, and the assistants will leave. The projection will change. It'll be completely, nobody will be there, and she'll be in a different place. But I think those are the kind of risks that you want to take to get these kind of shots, because they're so worth it in the end. And coming up right here is an example of really taking a risk in your framing. So what we're going to see is Maida start from the back, and you can see it's a wide. And now we're going to go in forward. We're going to look. We're going to pick our spot. I'm timing it with the assistant because I'm assuming she's going to come to the assistant, and she does. And now we have this really nice silhouette, and she's going to come forward into the light. It's just really nice. And so again, we're going to zoom in. We're going to watch the assistant. So you try to either watch for patterns or things like this to kind of place where you want to hold your frame, I guess. And now she's going to look around. Yeah, that's perfect. Here's another really manic shot of her in a straitjacket. And I don't know exactly what's going to happen, but we see the assistant here. I'm going to zoom out a little because there's another assistant underneath. And I'm still not sure what's going to happen, but we're going to kind of pick this as the shot we're going to hold on. And it's either going to work, she's either going to stay here and do something really interesting, or she's going to walk out of frame and we're going to lose it and we're going to have to try again. But in this particular case, she stays in the frame and she does some really great things, Maida being Maida. And the assistants are going to grab her. I love the way the hands come off from off the frame. You can't see them. All you see is you don't see the people, you just see the hands pulling. And this is just an example of the rewards of taking a risk in your filmmaking.